The open world is a dangerous place. Are you strong enough to save the princess? What up, I'm another for the MRpeck324 here, and here's my review of The Legend of Zelda and the Breath of the Wild, and also the Nintendo Switch itself. Let's start reviewing The Legend of Zelda and the Breath of the Wild. For the story, it gives a good explanation for both Zelda fans and people who are new to the Zelda franchise. There are some remembrances that are related to the N64 version. The acting for Zelda is a little bland to me since she doesn't give much emotions to the character, knowing that she acts like a lone wolf but overall a damsel in distress for Link. The player can play the whole story from getting 12 memory fragments, the 4 divine beasts, to defeating Ganon, or the player can just go straight to Ganon without the other 2 after completing the first 4 shrines and beat the game, which gave Nintendo a good idea whether to fully complete the game or not. Facing Ganon is fun, but difficult since he has 6 forms to beat him on. There are 4 elements: Wind Blight, Water Blight, Fire Blight, and Lightning Blight. Then there's one where he's all combined into one. And then there's Beast form. Ganon's design is creepy, even if he doesn't show himself in his human or his human pig form. Or pig human form. Whichever. For the gameplay is much like Dark Souls, since your weapons have their own stamina, and for me, which I don't like, since there aren't many weapons around when defeating bosses, but a player must always be prepared when facing bosses. The Frenzy Strike, after successfully performing a dodge from an attack, is the best advantage during a combat zone. The player has many opportunities in the open world, whether it be just climbing the highest mountain in the area and just paraglide to the next one, find a horse and gallop through it, or just run on foot and face many items, side quests, shrines, and monsters that are in the player's path. Adding weather in the game is difficult and dangerous. For the cold, Link takes damage and stay in the area for too long. When climbing during the rain, Link slips from them, which takes part of Link's stamina bar. And it's dangerous to go outside when a thunderstorm is brewing. So much activity in the open world that this game will take about 30 or more hours to get 100%. Now let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is Nintendo's savior, having been sold all over the world with the good promising games coming this and next year. The player can play at home, play it on the tablet since the tablet is the console itself and runs on an 8-hour battery, or you can open its stand and play the Joy controller with each hand. But it also comes with a controller model as well, so attaching it to the Joy controller is like playing with an actual controller. On first day launch it had a syncing problem on the left Joy controller, but they've already patched it up a day after its launch, so now it's good as new. Hopefully they'll have other colors for the Switch besides blue and red. If the player is not comfortable with them, there's always the Pro controller, which I recommend since I use it more often. For the conclusion, the story is interesting. Gameplay is much like Dark Souls. Elements in the game is difficult and dangerous to be part of the open world, and the Nintendo Switch is a great console to have. This game is worth playing and to kill the time until more games come out, like Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, etc. If you don't have the Switch, well, there's always the Wii U version. No difference between them, so that's good news. For my final verdict, it's a 9 out of 10 for both Zelda and the Switch. The game has much more detail in it, especially in its open world. It reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn when exploring. Alright, that's all I gotta say in this review. Thank you so much for watching. Peck the like and the subscribe button just to help myself on my channel and in the gaming community. This is Peck324, signing out.